Hello, can you hear me now? I think I got it, right? There we go. There we go, nice. Yeah, so for some reason, this has happened before in the past though. Even though I don't remember seeing an OBS update recently, that's why I was not suspecting of this at first. But there were some times in the past after OBS updated that the source for like the audio was not set on its settings right. So I had to go there and check it out, and then it was not like getting the microphone basically. But then I found it again and then I could fix it. So there we go. I'm sorry for that, right? I was not expecting this technical issue for the beginning, at least not this one. Normally, I can expect some disconnections, Twitch servers going bad, I don't know, power outages, but then the mic again, that was different, right? Or maybe the webcam freezing, right? But there we go, guys. I'm sorry for the slow start, right? But good to see everybody. Good to see you, Chill Mode, Cool, Nubble, and Meowser. Meowser, I was saying thank you for the resub again. But I was also trying to say that I haven't been streaming because I was sick, and I'm still observing my health, as I'm not sure what really happened to me, but I think it was related to stress and anxiety, probably. And the situation that I went through some weeks ago, and then I have been resting since then, and then kind of trying to feel better again, was kind of new to me because for the first time I felt dizzy and almost like in passing out, you know? Is that the way to say it? I think it is. Like to faint, pretty much. There was this day that I really felt dizzy, you know? And then I'm thinking and kind of hoping it was regarding feeling stressed. Because in the days before I felt like that, I was going through some anger, I was very stressed out, and then once my body relaxed, then I started feeling weird, you know. So that was the worst to me, to feel dizzy. So I was kind of trying to observe that and then not make it worse, right? It could have been also connected to circulation, like maybe I was having some problems in my circulation in my body with like the oxygen and stuff, I'm not sure. And also vitamins. So I started changing my food habits. I have been trying to eat more veggies and fruits and things. Also trying to hydrate a little bit more. And then I also bought some vitamins or supplements to see if they will also boost me up a little bit more, especially vitamin B12. That's the one that I bought, right? Because as I haven't been eating like meat or protein, or I'm very picky towards what I eat, there is a good chance that my vitamin B12 levels were low, as you normally can get that from eating carnivore habits pretty much. And I haven't been eating that much, but I have been also getting some eggs as well every day. So I'm trying to rebalance my health. I'm still a little bit strange, but not on the dizziness at least. But my belly, or like my intestines and stomach, sometimes they kind of go strange again. But thankfully, they haven't been too strong as before, right? But I'm still observing them as well. But anyway, basically, my health has been weird. Not really sure what's going on, but I'm hoping it's connected to, or at least I'm expecting or thinking it's connected to stress and anxiety. So I'm also trying to stay more chill in general. And even though it was like very terrifying to go through that dizziness, and also after that, I felt my brain kind of strange as well, kind of foggy like or empty like. I was also kind of losing my breath very often, especially when like calling my mom and talking a lot. Hence why I also couldn't stream, because otherwise it would demand a lot of my energy. So that's also why I was thinking it could be connected to circulation and maybe my heart or something. But I'm trying to take care of myself, right? Basically, that's the summary of what happened in these days. And thank goodness the dizziness was fading away little by little together with this foggy and emptiness on my brain. But on the other hand, there was something good about that, right? Because it really helped me to reset my brain, pretty much. I think that even though it happened the hard way, it helped me to kind of find more peace. So it pretty much resetted my brain right in a way. So I'm not as stressed or like I'm not as angry as I was before feeling that. I'm feeling somewhat more relaxed, you know. I just need to take better care of my energies and try not to get overreacted about stuff and things, and yeah, have better food habits. I also need to fix my sleeping schedule a little bit more as well, but I'm working on that. And yeah, pretty much that's what I have been through lately. But how about you guys? I hope you guys have been doing great. Let me check the chat again. What it never been connected in the first place? It was connected though. Yes, I can see its light on here. That's why I was thinking it was working, but unfortunately OBS was not identifying it anymore, right? I had to reset it again. Thankfully it was an easy thing, I just didn't think at it at first. I gotta focus on the second day at the new job tomorrow. Let's go to mode, good luck on it. I'm scared, everyone would be scared, man, but you need to be brave, right? Yeah, you need to surpass your fears and do it. And then little by little, you're going to feel more used to it or more comfortable about it, right? Yeah. To get some monies, geez, I'm broke. Probably everybody, especially those that are trying to buy the Switch 2, by the way. And the pre-orders of the Switch 2 started in Brazil today. What is the price? If you convert the price in Brazil to dollars, American dollars, it's $800. Yay! Of course, I'm not getting one right now, or I don't know, anytime soon. But I don't need it because I'm still very focused on the Switch One with my lovely discounts on the eShop that I have been digging them and also looking for them, right? Yeah, it's one eye here, one eye on the Switch One eShop. But the freaking Switch 2 started their pre-orders here in Brazil today, and believe it or not, even though it's that expensive, it was like, I don't know, successful in a way. So like some stores are starting to run out of stocks. So you know what? Even though the situation has been incredibly crazy regarding the prices of everything, Nintendo will have a successful release of the Switch 2, aren't they? Damn. But yeah, it's fixed. Ping sometimes. You got this. Let's go to mode. I got it. Even though I was slow to solve it. Also, by the way, as I was saying that sometimes I was like running out of breath and stuff, I think I will also try to sometimes as well take some more breaks, you know, from either speaking too much or even staying sit for too long as well. I was reading that it's very good for you to kind of stand up in every 30 minutes or so to kind of uh, stimulate your circulation, right? The blood flow of your body. That can prevent you from getting some problems and things. So sometimes I think I would try to slow down my rhythm of chatting and also try to stand up a little bit as well. Take more breaks, pretty much, to see if that helps me to not start any other situation with my health. But you got this with the older games sometimes as well. Yeah, regarding that I was talking to Nubble and to Mode in the beginning of the stream. I also never played Final Fantasy games as a kid, Nubble, especially because they were very medieval looking to me, or they gave me the idea they were very serious like, and I had to play other games before trying them, right? So I could feel more comfortable about trying them myself. And the game that actually helped me with that was Chrono Trigger. And I'm also hoping it gets something for its 30th anniversary this year. I'm expecting, I don't know, a remake, Chrono on Smash Brothers, anything surprising, right? But yeah, it was thanks to Chrono Trigger when I streamed it in here. And then after I played it, Chrono Trigger was actually another game that I had like trouble to see myself playing it, but I decided to try it, and then it was very good. I had fun with it, and then people were saying, "No, you should try Final Fantasy VI because it feels a lot like Chrono Trigger." So I did it, right? I finally went to try Final Fantasy, but the thing was that Final Fantasy VI, at least, it was more complicated. Yeah, it was harder to follow it, or it had more mechanics that I was not ready to play them, or it took me some time to get used to them. Yeah, it was something different than Chrono Trigger still. Um, I'm not really sure what was the comparison anymore that people were doing between Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI. I I won't say much because you also haven't played it that much, right? There is something that I can kind of think of, but I'm not sure if it was that. But regarding the way the games they flow, they are very different in my opinion. Yeah, maybe the active time-based attack stuff with like in the turn-based RPG mechanic was also something in common they shared, right? To have like a recharging time so your party members could be attacking, even though it's still a turn-based game. Yeah, that felt a little bit more like Chrono Trigger, but I don't know, the plot was different. Yeah, and also kind of a dark game as well in a way, but it was good. Yeah, I just think that I struggled a lot with it because it was my first Final Fantasy experience, and that struggle maybe made it not become my favorite. And then the next one, Final Fantasy VII, became my favorite because I was a little bit more used to the Final Fantasy mechanics and ideas, and that was my Final Fantasy start, right? And then I played 6, 7, 8, 9, and then I played most of 10 offline, but then I'm planning to bring it to the channel at some point so we can play together and then finishing it because I haven't finished it by myself. So yeah, those were the games that I played regarding Final Fantasy, and I do want to go back to 5, 4, and also get to 12 because I hear great things over Final Fantasy 12 as well. Regarding 1, 2, and 3, I also want to play them, but I think they won't be as great. They might be, I don't know, not as fun or not as amazing as the others, right? Yeah, the ATB style, maybe that was the comparison people made to me or something, but besides that, I haven't seen many other things in common between the games. Let me go back on the chat again. By the way, I'm still getting used to streaming, right? Once more. Um Hopes everything's well. Yeah, it's getting better now, guys. Dizzy and lightheaded, yeah. It was something very crazy, and I even went downstairs to spend some time with the doorman in case I kind of fainted and then somebody could help me out, right? I even tried going to the doctor at late night, but the thing was that the taxi I was calling or ordering, they didn't have cars available basically. Like they were um, asking me to wait for 20 to 30 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to see how am I feeling after that time, and then maybe confirming if I want to take the ride or not. And then in the end, I ended up not taking the ride because I was kind of feeling a little bit better and realizing that maybe all I had to do was to relax. And then I went back home and then I relaxed it, right? And then I started feeling better in the next days, little by little. Comfortable, got this. Thanks, sir. Yes, Chomo, your work is going to feel more natural little by little too. The Switch 2 with games, good luck, and also with the accessories, right? Yeah, it is going to be so crazy. I'm doing well, nice to hear it, man. Just watching the animals while your mom is on vacation. Yes, I remember you had a dog, right? But then I don't remember if you had other animals. Maybe you have more than one dog? 800 freaking USDs? Yes, thanks to the taxes and everything. But you know what's the craziest? Some Brazilian YouTubers were actually now thinking more logically and not just emotionally about this situation. and they were studying why is the Switch 2 being priced like that here, and it really was due to the taxes. Because people in here, of course, the first thing they were thinking were like, or it was like, Nintendo, why do you do that to us? Or like, how could you? You know, you're charging us too much, and everything. But in the end, Nintendo kind of did a somewhat, um, it's like not too different than the other countries' pricing, at least from Nintendo side. But the taxes that we were studying here, they actually add up a lot more, you know, and then it pretty much doubled the price of it. So yeah, it's due to the taxes. And then the YouTubers, they were kind of saying that we should try doing something to the governors or to the politicians, you know, so they could try to drop those taxes so the prices could get better. It's due to the taxes. It is a little bit of Nintendo's fault, of course. They could charge us less, especially for their games. But it's mostly thanks to the taxes. Yeah, it is 450 USDs in the US or 500 bucks for the bundle, which by the way, we have only gotten the bundle in here so far. Yeah, they are the stores, the shops, they are not selling or pre-ordering the regular Switch, right? Or maybe I should say the Switch 2 only box. It's only the bundle they are selling right now. $80 for a game. The games in here were $87. Yeah, Mario Kart World was priced with $87. This is the time to get the OG Switch. I agree, man. I'm actually hoping to play so many games on my OG Switch. And also, speaking of that, by the way, while we chat, let me boot up the game so the park can be working on itself, right, and giving us money and things. Just to also re-summarize what was happening in RollerCoaster Tycoon, we were working on our Pleasure Island level, which is very challenging because the level design or landscape is very horizontal-like, and then building coasters on it is tough. And we must build 10 coasters that have an excitement rating of at least 6. And we have built actually 5 coasters, but one of them was extra, so only 4 coasters will get the requirements of the objective. So we still need to work on 6 more. And then today I'm hoping I can start working on the Virginia Reel, which was the one that Cool suggested me to work. But yeah, it's going to be challenging because of the landscaping of it. So let me boot it up. Yeah, that's Pleasure Island so far. This is the extra coaster I worked because the model or the design we were trying to work on, which was the stand-up, if I'm not mistaken, it's the stand-up roller coaster, right? This one, yeah, stand-up steel roller coaster. I could not make it like somewhat short, but also matching the requirements of the objective, which was having it with 6 of excitement rating. Yeah, it was this one. This one is a short coaster of that model, but it doesn't get to the objective. You see, the excitement is not even 5. So to not really give up on this one coaster model at all, I went for a long coaster, and then the long coaster did it to us. Yeah, with 6.04, right? Because I looked up on the pre-models of this type of coasters, and the ones that were above 6.0 of excitement, they were longer coasters. So I was like, oh, maybe that's a thing for this type. So I ended up doing it, right? And that's what we got. And then now we have this area right here to build or to fit 6 coasters left, right? It is going to be painful for sure. Let me check the rest of the chat. Gotta get the old hardware, gaming and cheap. It hasn't been cheap at all, man. Today I was also getting the news that Activision has been raising their prices on Steam. Have you guys seen that? Yeah, Activision has been raising their prices, at least here in Brazil. I'm not sure if it was a price change in the world, right? But here in Brazil, yeah. So it's going to be harder for me to get the Crash 4 game and also the Spyro trilogy, right? That I have never played. That is good to have some blood flow, yes. I need to be more, I don't know, more calm as well, right? Sitting is unnatural, I agree to mode. But you do it like 50% of time. The other 50 is sleeping. I need to sleep better, by the way. But I'm little by little, I don't know, recovering my energy because there was this weekend that I did not sleep well at all. And I have been feeling kind of tired since then, right? But today it was a better day on my sleep, yeah. Final Fantasy 7 to 10, yes please. Don't you like 6, don't you, Mo? Yeah, Final Fantasy, especially the older ones, are very heavily inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, especially with all of the classes and magic systems. I guess that then Dragon Quest as well was also very inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. The creator was ahead of its time. Dungeons and Dragons is OG. I have never played it though. Um, I really never felt like trying it, even though there are events here in my city that people do meet each other to play it, right? But I never really felt crazy for it, yes. I think it's going to be hard for me to incorporate the character, pretty much. Maybe that's what blocks me from trying it myself. But many people say it's amazing, it's very fun. I still prefer that. Tactics is the old way. It works over the new hack and slash style. As much as I generally prefer action RPGs over ATB and turn-based combat, I do not like Final Fantasy moving into the action RPG side of combat. That's true, Final Fantasy VII did that, right? And I think that Final Fantasy 16 as well, right? It's kind of approaching the Mana series specialty. Oh, that's why you don't like it? I was going to say, or I was thinking, the reason why you felt like that was because it was really losing its identity. I mean, if it is approaching Mana, then sure, it's also somewhat losing its identity. But that was a very specific game that you felt like Final Fantasy was trying to get to, right? Interesting that you said Mana and not really Tales of, because Tales of games are also very well known for being action RPG games. Yes, to mode me too, man. I'm not sure. And then I get my neck kind of stuck, right, or like tense, and then shoulders as well. So I need to be working on all of that posture and breathing. Accessories, the first upsell, more pirating, PC, USB things. Oh, Nubble has two cats and two dogs, but one dog is bored with a trainer to keep up on its training. I see, so it's like one of those very smart dogs, right? That follow instructions and things. The taxes do make sense. It depends on how much they get from people and also what are they doing with the money they get, right? In Brazil, I can tell you it doesn't make sense. I got scammed trying to sell illegal cigs, skip the price and then return to trade. Rip capitalism, according to chill mode. They double triple all prices, yes, the taxes. I'm gonna sell eggs, hustle grind. A console is a cool invest still. It is entertainment, right? So those that can get it or those that have some money that's like destined to be used on entertainment, if they choose to use that money into a video game, it works. They would be maybe not having money to do other entertaining things instead of, like, I don't know, going to a party or traveling or something. But yeah, like, if people save that money to entertainment in their lives and they want to spend it with a Switch, then sure, because at least the Switch 2 has been looking like a promising console. It has been looking very very good in my opinion. Is it the best one? It's relative, but I don't know. I was very happy to see what it could do, right? But the problem of it was actually Nintendo and the game prices and some other things too, right? But at least the newest thing they tried, which was this update on the Switch One right now, that was the digital game card, right? That you can lend the game card to another family member and stuff. At least that, even though at first it scared me to think, or to make me to think that I would not be able to share my account with my friend anymore, and then we could be, helping each other to play our digital games. Like I can play his and then he can play mine. I was thinking that was going to end tonight, but thankfully it's still an option, even though now we can't play the same game together, it seems. We haven't tested it, like, playing the same game together, but even if that's the case, then it's still okay, because normally we don't play the same game together, so I think it's fine, right? But yeah, Nintendo sometimes they try some things that make it kind of harder for us players to work it out, right? With their games, with their consoles, with the mechanics and everything. Yes, cool, I'm going to work on the Virginia Reel next, exactly. Which was your suggestion? The Switch is still the best gaming console company. They can ask whatever they want, feels like. Um, it is relative, right? I agree that, in my opinion, the Switch gives us a lot of things that the other consoles they don't. But at the same time, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for, I don't know, graphical quality, then maybe a PlayStation 5 could be the best for you, or maybe some more realistic games. Maybe again, maybe the PS5 or even a gaming computer could be the best for you. If you're looking for a very good service for you to get games, then the Xbox Game Pass, right? The Xbox Game Pass. It really depends on what you're looking for. As I love RPGs, as I love puzzle games, and also indie games, I think the Switch is the best one to me. Together with the Nintendo um, games, right? Like their exclusive games. This is like Island. Coney Island. Isn't that? I can be completely wrong, but that sounds to me like New York. Is that in New York? I can be completely wrong. Is Activision still alive? They are. They were even working on a new. Oh, never mind. I was thinking of Naughty Dog. Yeah, I was going to say Naughty Dog was working on a new IP right after The Last of Us. Speaking of The Last of Us, I still gotta start watching season 2. But I believe I will probably wait until it's over so I can kinda binge the episodes. Shout out to the PS1 things, good shit. Spyro 3, I know, people love Spyro, I never played any of them. I want though. I don't think it affects the United States. Do you mean the taxes? I'm not sure. Thanks to the Trump paralyzation, right? Like that he was giving a break to the tariffs, right? Dungeons and Dragons is very hit or miss. Also, by the way, cool. Were you able to buy yourself the Switch 2, or were you going to wait for longer until getting it? Dungeons and Dragons is a very hit or miss depending on how good the dungeon master is, and if you get murdered while hobo players are not. Wait, murder hobo players? What is a hobo player? I don't know what's a hobo, right? I'll never get posture. I think me neither, chill mode in a way, right? You like that Henry Cavill gonna uh, Henry Cavill is the Witcher guy, isn't he? And then also you have 40k Warhammer. We were talking about that game the other day. Like there are people in the community that like that game. Dungeons and Dragons is a good one too. You love some nerd hobbies. There is going to be a cosplay picnic in my city again. It's going to be their anniversary, and it's going to happen in May, right? I'm planning to go there. Yeah, it is going to be, I think, in the 18th. And also this weekend, I went to Rio to finally meet Luigi and Mario, right, in the shopping mall. Yeah, they had like a Nintendo booth in there for the Switch one, and even though it was a very long trip, it was very good. I even tried a little bit of the newest Zelda game, the Echoes of Wisdom one, but it was a very short time that I had in there, so I haven't seen much of it. I even wanted to try the Super Mario Wonder game and also the Mario Party Jamboree, but I didn't have enough time to do it. But at least I played a little bit of the Zelda one, and I was surprised. I of course had to learn what to do or like how to deal with the mechanics. But once I solved some puzzles, I was very happy. I did like it a lot. I even got this one tiny poster of it, right? That has a somewhat funny looking Zelda drawing on the flip side of it. And after looking at this, I can only think of Sanji from One Piece, right? And his wanted poster as well. I don't know if you guys get that reference, but yeah, Zelda here is a lot like Sanji from One Piece as well. So I got this one tiny poster. I actually left it on the shelf, right? Maybe. Wait, can you see it down here? Yes, I was leaving it down there. Oh yeah, you can see a little bit of it, right? There we go. That was the spot I found. Let's go back. But yes, I went there pretty much to take a picture with Mario and Luigi and see them with my eyes, and I was very happy because the costume is perfect, right? It's just like, I don't know, if I ever meet the RollerCoaster Tycoon Panda. That's how happy I was. Yeah, that panda right there, that's the next target of my dreams. But then Dungeons and Dragons is good with friends, so cool has tried it before. Even never played, it is cool how creative people can be. That is very motivational. It is getting bigger in Brazil, I would say. Yeah, the more time passes by, I think the more I see people trying it here. Or like the more I hear about the groups and places you could be playing Dungeons and Dragons. That reminds me that there was like a movie, right? That was following the idea of a Dungeons and Dragons game. And I wonder if you guys have watched it. My Pilates teacher did watch it, and she actually liked it. And if I'm not mistaken, that movie is getting a sequel as well. I think Games Workshop got its start as a Dungeons and Dragons minifig creating company that eventually broke off to make their own tabletop game because they weren't happy with how Dungeons and Dragons was going. I see, so they pretty much decided to take the wheel, right? And then improve the Dungeons and Dragons experience following their ideas. But I have never heard of Games Workshop before. Are they now like the top brand for Dungeons and Dragons? And then you can have Dungeons and Dragons parties. This is the most creative. That is the Games Workshop franchise. I haven't heard of it. And it's now working worldwide. It was more like a Dungeons and Dragons store and Magic the Gathering on the side. I miss those story. Wait, those stores, right? I miss those stores. Miniatures stems from Train Hobby too. I remember those toys, right? The miniature railroads and stuff. Yeah, the miniature hobby is Rio's hobby. Nintendo is the only company with exclusive. It feels like these days. I agree. I really agree with you on that. Because even Sony has been porting their games to Xbox and Microsoft, right? And even Nintendo, little by little, like the previous Switch One Direct had a couple of Sony exclusive games, like Everybody's Golf and that one that's like a rhythm game, Parapon or something. I never remember the name of that game. Also, hi Link, what's up? Welcome. But yeah, Sony has been losing their identity a little bit too, in a way. It's good for us, right, the gamers, but for the company, I'm not sure. How are you doing? So I'm doing alright, but I wasn't streaming lately because of my health, and I'm still kind of observing my health. I'm not gonna lie to you guys in here, like I'm not feeling the most comfortable right now, so I'm kind of trying to take my energies easily, right? Because I don't want to like lose my breath or something. So yes, I'm still kind of checking out myself, but so far it's okay. But I'm like realizing that if I speak too much, too fast, too crazy, then I might lose my breath. You know, I'm trying to control everything in here so I can keep it up with the stream. But yeah, besides like dealing with some health craziness that I'm not sure what has been going on with me, even since like last year, right? I was also dealing with lots of problems last year too. And then lately I had a situation with like dizziness and fogginess on my brain. But yeah, besides that, I'm doing alright. Yeah. Link, were you excited for the Switch 2, by the way? I don't remember talking to you about that. No one talks about any Sony or Xbox exclusives anymore. That is true. By the way, it's not like any of those platforms exclusives, but have you guys heard of this one RPG or turn-based RPG game that has been very trendy this week? I still don't remember its name fully, but it's like 33 something, 33 Expedition. It has like a name before the 33 Expedition name, right? But people have been saying that game is a blast. When I went to the shopping mall this weekend with my friend was asking me if I knew about that game, and then I was like, no, I never heard of it. And then once I got back home and then checked on it on Steam and also on Twitter, and then in the next day on YouTube, I was like, holy shit, okay, my friend has a point. This game has been very successful, you know, like people are talking about it everywhere now. So yeah, have you guys checked it out too? Is it that great? I was interested about its plot. Yeah, I remember when I was reading the summary very quickly, I was interested by its plot, so eventually let's see if I can check it out as well. And it's good to see a turn-based game getting successful, right? In these days that most of the games they go action-based. Oh, you think that Coney Island was in New Jersey? I'm not sure. It's just because I think there was a conversation that I have had with Emily in the past, and then she was telling me that she went to Coney Island, and Emily's from New York, and then I was kind of thinking it was there. Wait until October for the Switch 2? No, I think I will wait even longer than that. Yeah. Or do you mean you are going to wait until October, Code? So murder hobo players are players that murder everything and everyone just because they can. Oh, seriously? So if everybody dies, there is no game, right? I do hope Trump can squish the beef between Ukraine and Russia. My Ukrainian friend is hoping on that. He's sending you live drone footage. You don't like Zelensky anymore. There are parties getting money. I wanna learn that sneaky shit. I just hope that we get more peaceful days, right? Both like, let's say physically, because the Russian-Ukraine war is like physical, but also economical, thanks to the situation that's going on with the tariffs, right? I just hope we stabilized pretty much. That Zelda drawing, it reminds me so much of Sanji from One Piece. Yeah, that was like a Zelda wanted poster, right? I wonder why is that a thing? I haven't played Echoes of Wisdom, but that's what the poster of the game gave me, so will they go against Zelda in the game? Who knows, right? It looks like the not very good Link drawing on his wanted poster back in A Link to the Past. I haven't seen that. Yes, I haven't. I have never seen that. I did not get a selfie with Mario and Luigi, but I got like a full body picture, right? It is interesting how the concept of a dungeon master has been changing over the years. Speaking of which, for some crazy reason, right now it came up to me like, probably it's already a thing by the way, but what if there will be a day that you can use an artificial intelligence as a dungeon master? Isn't that somewhat crazy, curious, but still somewhat fun idea as well? Like an artificial intelligence that could be the dungeon master? Like you could ask for, I don't know, Alexa to like become a dungeon master? It may not be as great as having a real person, of course, but I think the experience could be somewhat fun. Or maybe random, right? In some ways. At the start, it was common for the dungeon master to remain hidden behind a curtain or something, so nobody would know who he was. And then they decided to join the players at the table, and now it's going back to them being a hidden force. So now it's going back to like to the beginning, right? To like to keep it as a secret character. I Yes, I was more used of hearing people saying that the dungeon master was like there, you know, in the same table, and then people could see him. But I can also see the reason why it would be fun to have him like not showing up for the game. It's the monitor, listen to the body, yeah. So Games Workshop is more known for their Warhammer series. Oh, okay, so we did talk about Warhammer the other day, and Warhammer was a Dungeons and Dragons franchise, right? Thanks to their miniatures as well. They have a fantasy version, Age of Sigmar. It's the 31st millennium, and Grimdark, also known as 40k. Yeah, that's the one I hear the most, which is set in the 41st millennium. And then Henry Cavill better wreck that Warhammer. Oh, that game? Yes, have you guys been checking it out? I have seen a lot of streamers playing it recently. I haven't actually watched any of them. Oh, so Cool is waiting until October, alright. Yes, Nubble, me neither. I won't be checking the game because I wanna play it by myself now. I was already intrigued by the plot of it. To be honest, I don't remember the plot of it right now anymore, but what I remember vaguely was something about a group, maybe it is the one in the title of the game, right? The 33 Expedition group or something, that they are going to look for their friends that disappeared after they were checking something out. I believe that's what I read, and I was already intrigued by the mystery of it. But combined with that, having a turn-based game being so hyped these days, I'm down for it. For people who don't have enough friends to swap who is the active Dungeon Master, I could see that being nice, so the Forever Dungeon Master can finally be a PC instead, or the Dungeon Master can become a player, right? In that one group of friends, and not just be the Dungeon Master. But I still don't know how I would feel about an AI being a DM at my table. Again, I think it's going to be different for sure, but I can somewhat see it working quite well. Not better than maybe having a person, but still quite well and fun, at least, for the randomness of the situation, you know? Oh, player character. Oh, okay, player character. Yeah, yeah. I also thought of that, yes. I read PC as like a computer, right? But I thought of like getting the dungeon master to become a player of the same game. I wonder, um, like not anyone can become a dungeon master, right? I believe that those people will need to study a little or like maybe practice something. Like, is there any sort of training for you to become a dungeon master? Because I'm expecting to be somewhat complex, unless it is more simple than what I think. But alright guys, let's see if we can start our Virginia Railway here. As I also get some rest from the chatting, a little bit at least, so I can start feeling a little bit better. Because I was like going with my ideas and the talking and everything, and then my brain is like, go a little bit slower, please. But yeah, so it does take a special kind of patience to be a DM and the ability to adapt your imagination on the fly. But then also there is some sort of technical things, like you need to control the damage, the health, the attack. It's pretty much the stats, right, of the characters of the game, doesn't it? Or is it a little bit more vague than that? Like maybe you don't need to really follow up the numbers, you know, like because I'm imagining there is some sort of math involved in a Dungeons and Dragons game. So hence why you take the die, right? So you roll the die. Unless the die is more something towards luck. Oh yeah, you know what? Maybe that's how it goes. Maybe it doesn't go like in a very specific damage based experience. Maybe it goes on a way of like you can only win if you get a number from 6 to 20 or something, and then that luck tells you the situation of the combat. Yeah, I think I have heard a little bit of that too as a possible rule, right? And then it would make it more simple for sure. Let's see. I mean, I can't choose that much of like where to place it because I don't have a lot of area left, so it needs to be just next to the previous built coaster, right? So it gotta be here. But I did have an idea for this Virginia Rio coaster before that I will try to follow it. Let me see if I can do it. First of all, I want to see how far I can go on the ocean. I can kind of go far, right? That's the limit? Okay, I take it. Oh, but then I can't do anything there. So go back one. I take it right there, yes. It can even be shorter than that, I think. So I can even have more space, right? Maybe there. No, maybe that's too short. Give me one more. Alright. So these stats are mostly handled by the books. Or you can do what some Dungeon Masters do, which is play by the rule of cool and just fight until the player character or they are not longer having fun with the fight. Seriously? Because it could be a long fight as well, right? But also, couldn't you do the luck based situation as well. Like if you like roll the die and then you get a pair number. Sorry, the way to say that in English is even or odds, right? Yeah, if you get an even number, then you can win, or if you get an odd number, you can lose or something. But it's very much group based. Oh, you are right about that. Like the party needs to win the fight, right? Not just a player. Hmm. But maybe for other situations, then it could be luck based. I have a question. What normally is the goal of like the game? Like, how are the stories like normally? Do you need to beat an enemy? Do you need to save the princess? Is it that stereotyped? Or would you say that it can be very different or creative sometimes as well? Like maybe the objective is something completely wild. By group based, I mean you need to figure out how you and your group like to play. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. It depends on the preferences of the players, right? It's just like when you start a game and then you change the settings of it for your own preference. I see. The objective of Dungeons and Dragons is actually to it to be whatever you want it to be. That's another reason why I think the AI could be somewhat helpful as well. I mean, maybe I'm being too hopeful about an AI, but it could even give us, I don't know, some, visuals. For example, oh, we are going to have a game in a forest. And then you could ask for the AI right away to like give us an image of that forest. And then it could help the feeling, right? It could create an atmosphere. I know that most of the fun is for you to actually work with that with your own imagination, but maybe it could work well as well with like some things from the AI. My idea for this coaster was like something building looking like, right? I wish I could make this to look like a building, so actually I'll need to have a longer station because I want it to be somewhat. I'm still testing this out, right? Maybe I will do something and delete it completely. But I'm trying to think on the image that I had for this before and see how can I put it on the game. Yes, I wanted something very like a wall shaped coaster, so it would have many layers of zigzags that go up. But then I'm not sure if I will be able to work that out well in here. Normally the goals for the games are like to save the kingdom, to save the world, to become gods, to become gods, explore uncharted lands, to be diplomats, be hardened fighters, and then the sky's your limit. Interesting. It could be really something else. But would it be too crazy if you could play a Dungeons and Dragons game and then the goal would be like, I don't know, let's bake a pizza? Is that too crazy? Because yeah, what you told me was somewhat under the lines of or under the ways of my expectations for an answer. But then becoming gods was kind of shocking to me though. But I was thinking, could it be something completely different, like baking a pizza? I don't know, ordering a TV, something more simple. Could Dungeons and Dragons games somewhat find ways to work around that? or even save a village. Saving a village is also somewhat, you know, very expected from like RPG games we play or things we see, right? I was thinking of something completely out there. I don't know, get a job or something, you know, something crazier, something more simple than that. Maybe it would demand a lot of creativity from the group, right, and also from the dungeon master. But I think those games would be the most fun ones, in my opinion, because it is completely like let's play a section of, I don't know, something completely common like or simple like. Some people get into Dungeons and Dragons for the RP aspect, RP roleplay, right? Others want just to be number crunchers and optimize their builds, and some just want to create a world to share with others. You can also do a reverse Dungeons and Dragons where you are the villains. That sounds fun as well. Yeah, that sounds very fun. And then maybe the result of the game is unexpected too. Um, I mean, I was thinking of like a team, right? Can you have like two teams? Like one team is fighting another team in the game. One team play as the villains, and then the other team play, or they play as like the heroes. But sure, you can also only have like a team of villains, and then they go um, against the heroes, but like just in their imagination, right? Not really there are other people playing as the heroes in the same game. Yeah, but I was thinking of like two different teams competing against each other. That could be fun as well. And then the dungeon master would reward the team that was the most intelligent one. I'll need to change this already, right? I think maybe like that. Is this because of the supports or because of the park? Because of the park. Okay. So go back one more. Okay, this is not really what I was thinking, but I will see how it goes this way, right? It is still somewhat um, like a wall of some sorts, but then it's totally different than what I was thinking, yeah. But I want to see how is going to be the result of this. I remember that Cool was saying that building this coaster model for this level would be very challenging because you cannot really make it very exciting that easily. So I wonder if this strategy is going to fail, right? Probably. I'm also not really liking because, or I'm also not really liking this in particular because I'm on a corner of the park, so I can't really go for the same sizes of the coaster, right? I need to always be decreasing it little by little or I'm going to go off limits. Yeah, that's kind of bugging me. But again, I'm going to see if I can finish this up. No, I think here you should go up already, yeah. I'm guessing it's going to be fast enough to go up. Or so I hope. And then you turn again. And then we try going back to the entrance. I can only go to there. Oh, that's a problem, yes. Wait, can I make a turn again? I could, but I can't go anymore. Okay, so that's bad. I'll need to change it from there right now. You can, but that would be a little harder to set up. You would need to have the heroes and villains in separate rooms as to not metagame each other. Interesting. So they wouldn't be hearing what the other team is actually planning to do. Is that why? It would be very interesting if at least one person on each team was a double agent working for the other. They could have like a. I mean, would the others know that? They couldn't. They shouldn't know it, right? Yeah, the others shouldn't know it. That is true. But they could have some sort of I don't know, earbuds, that they could hear the conversation of the other team or something. So they could plan their actions by hearing the other room conversations by having like earbuds. But I don't know, it would be hard to work it out for sure. Or defined, or I'm not sure how to read that. In a voice call in Discord, that sounds a little bit like Among Us as well. Next park should be fun. Have you beaten this already, by the way, Cool? Could you do it? You were only two coasters left, weren't you? Unlimited money? Have you checked that out? I'm not sure if we checked that out before, like the next park. Oh, we did! It was the ice one, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the frozen park. You finished it? Nice, man. There we go. Good job. Yeah, I think we checked it out before. It was a nice level, wasn't it? Wait, but then it had a problem. I remember it now. The next level uh, asked us to not drop the park rating, wasn't it? The park rating could never drop, um, or it could never become lower than 700 at any point. Oh, or 600? Okay, so it's less than. Okay, 600. Yes, we did check that one out. I just remembered it. I'm not sure if I think it's going to be that fun to control the park rating, right? But I hope we can do it alright. I was thinking more of giving the Dungeon Master notes to give the opposite team, but then wouldn't they figure it out still? Like, why is that player getting notes and not me or something? But this squad would be easier, just assign roles to the players so they can only join a specific voice call. That is true. And then the Dungeon Master would jump between the two. But that's a very nice idea. Yes, I think it would be very fun to have a double agent in. And then, in case of the double agents, like, would there be an ending to the story where they are the ones that win? Like maybe they decide to not go for any of the two sides and make their own third side, to be the winner. Because it also would be kind of weird. For example, let's suppose there is a double agent working for the villains. It would be a little bit weird for the villains in the end of the game to win, not fully understanding what they have done to win. They would be like, wait, we won? How could we win? They would be, oh yeah, we won, but wait, what? Shouldn't we lose or something? And then suddenly, oh, there was a double agent. That would be kind of weird as well. In case a team wins because of the double agent only, I think having an ending where the double agents win themselves is like more interesting to me because they deserved it. That's up to the group, yeah. So it is very customizable, right? I don't think most people do double agents. Yeah, mostly because of the complications as well, like having the perfect communication setup as well for you to really have that way to disguise yourself without the others hearing your talks and things, right? It is rare. I imagine, yeah. But the idea sounds very nice. especially to spice it up, right? I would have it known that there is a possibility of traitors. What happens when a player doesn't follow the dungeon master or something? Can that happen? But never say who is the traitor, if any. Hmm. Or does everybody really need to follow the dungeon master's instructions? Or can you be a little bit more crazy and independent or something? I was hoping to add a lot of crazy turns in the underground, but I think I can't. Unless I go actually to the bottom of the earth, right? But I don't know if I want to. I mean, I guess I have no choice. Yes, I was planning to do like a crazy set of turns down here, you know? Okay, maybe now we can try finding a way up. Where am I? I'm right there. Can I make a turn? No, but I won't go up that fast, right? I think I need to be on the other side. It is so hard to see whatever is happening down there. Let me do my first short break. I'm going to stand up and drink some water. BRB, okay, cool. Um, oh, you're not going out with your dog, just letting him out, okay. All the time, like the players, they challenge the dungeon master's orders because the dungeon master is more of a guide. Some players, right, they like just following the dungeon master's story. Others like trying to make their own story in the dungeon master's world. And then there are the ones who don't care either way, they just want to fight. Yes, I see it now. Maybe for Those that, for example, are not experienced players or they don't know how to imagine that word that much, maybe they would find it easier to just follow the steps or the advices, or wait, advices maybe, of the dungeon master, right? Like, let me follow his story, because I cannot build that story to myself yet, or like I cannot really be that creative to do it myself. So I can see them as like a guide or like a helper, right? Especially for the new players or people that really can't maybe even get too immersed into the game themselves. The only bad stuff happens if you get like a nat 1 like on an attack, and if you roll a nat 1 the enemy gets advantage. That's how my DM used to do it, because it is like the worst luck ever. Is that how it goes? So it's kind of fair for the enemy to get an advantage on you. And then critical failures and critical successes vary from DM to DM. I see, so that's how his DM used to do it. Some stick to the rule books, while others will make a crazy show of the rolls. I see. I think, to be honest, in a way, right? I think I would prefer having bad endings to the stories because they sound fun, in my opinion. Because, like, the good ending would be very predictable, you know? Like, you know what's going to happen if the heroes win. I think that having bad endings would be somewhat more crazy, right? I'm realizing that if I were a player, I think I would be an agent of chaos. I would try to do something very crazy to the game. If only I could look at this coaster well, right? Invisible supports, maybe that helps a little. How can I reconnect to that now? No, wait, go back. I'm there. I need to go up and go back. Okay, let me see. Yes. Then make another turn. And I think this is the one, isn't it? No, 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 wait, wait, wait. Go straight ahead there, yes. Oh, no, no, it's still wrong. Go back. Short turn. Turning here again. There we go, and then you go up. But I can't because the coaster is on the way. But I could do it right there. I think we did it. Okay, we did it. We are out. Now I just need to connect it. Like this. There we go. Again, not really what I was planning at first. But at the same time, maybe my initial plan wouldn't fit very well. I don't know why I was planning on something like a very vertical like coaster with like a zigzag of going up, you know, like this. But then it would be taking them forever to do it, right? If I were going up level by level. So I just went up like the whole way in a single zigzag, right? and then I couldn't go up anymore, so I ended up going down. But I kind of like it, especially what I did in the underground regarding having many turns, like I scramble something, like to make it crazy, you know, in the underground. And it did not use a lot of area, so I think that's okay. Let's test it out. How is this? Give me just one car because I'm scared of this crashing. We got a button here. Oh yeah, to go to the chat I'll need to do this, right? Every time I play RollerCoaster Tycoon. There we go. Show me the speed of this. Oh, it doesn't complete the course, okay. I think I underestimated it. Or maybe I should say yes, I overestimated it, right? Because it is not really finishing it. The bad thing is that I will not find the track anymore, right? Where it got stuck. It was where it was going up. Where was it going up? Was it in here? No, in here it goes down. Oh, it's in here. I found it. It's there. No, it was not in the end. Wasn't it before the end? Do it again. I think it was before the end. Good luck with the underground trying to find it. Thank you. I know it's going to be painful, right? Also, I don't think this coaster will do it, by the way. Yes, I'm not sure if it's going to have what it needs, what it takes. Um, I can't see it at all. Oh, it is in the end. Okay, okay, it was in the end. All right, we did it. So it is here. That's it, right? Some of the really good DMs, they will incorporate things that happened from past campaigns, both successful and failed campaigns, into new ones. Just because the first party of adventurers died to the BBEG doesn't mean you can't hire another group to try and succeed. That is true. You could just try with new characters, right? Interesting. It is like having the same game or like having the same universe, but trying in it different ways, right? In a multiverse kind of idea. Yes, I see that. Until at least a party can win. And then maybe then they can go into another game suggestion, right? So, okay, the track was done, it was completed. I have the feeling we're going to get it for like 4 of excitement. 3. It's too intense. Mm. How can I make this less intense? I think it is the short turns I did in the end, right? Can I see the... Man, I will need to reset the... Okay, do this again. Yes, I want to see the graphs. Man, I was so disappointed that the new Nintendo thing, right? The digital game card, that you need to have a Switch Online subscription, and also you need to have the family member thing. I was really hoping that you could lend your games to people more easily, right? You just had to like create a somewhat, I don't know, group on your Switch profile, not necessarily a family group for the Switch Online. And then with that group, and also meeting up the person with their Switch for one time, for the first time, then you could easily be sharing the game. But no, it's not that way. So it is a somewhat good thing, but at the same time, the limitations are annoying, right? For you to really use it. So yeah, they had a very good idea, but the execution of the idea wasn't the best in my opinion. Nintendo really is trying to get people to subscribe to their online service, aren't they? The only speedy moment is like here. It's the first drop, pretty much. Let me try slowing it down then. Maybe we don't need to... Oh, maybe it is that drop as well, right? Okay, I'm changing this a little bit. Let's make it a little bit longer. Because I'm guessing that when they are making the turns with like a very high speed, then it's making the coaster more intense or to get to the extreme levels. So I'm trying to slow it down after going up again, and then it makes a turn more slowly, right? Why couldn't they have two DK icons? That as well. They also changed that, right? They also changed Luigi and Mario from what I have seen. What sucks, they changed DK looks also. I was thinking they did it because of like really trying to separate the design of DK from the Rare design, right? The design that Rare created. I'm not sure, but it was the only thing that came to my mind. Although they did have changed the designs of many of their characters, especially for the Mario Kart World game, but of course the Donkey Kong one is the one that changed the most, so... But they could have both icons, that's for sure. And then we also got some updates on the eShop. I heard some people saying that the eShop is more faster now. Honestly, I didn't feel it. I was hoping it could feel more different still. Some people are talking about some rumors that there is still a chance we could be getting a Switch to customizable menu, right? Background. Yeah, custom backgrounds to the menu. And I do hope it's right, like the rumors are right, because it's going to be so much better to have, you know, backgrounds or wallpapers on the switch to menu. Let's see this now. It's not too different, but I don't know, I just want to see if this works. But then Rare's version is so iconic and too well known. That's true, right? But I would say, or I would think they wanted to change it because of copyrights, even though today I believe Rare and Nintendo might have a better relationship than in the past. Just like how changed the D3's looks. D3? I don't like. Oh, DDD. Oh, okay, DDD. I was thinking of something Kirby, but then I'm not sure what, right? DDD, yeah. Wait, but how changed their looks? I never noticed that. And we did play many of the Kirby games, right? When exactly did his looks changed? On which game? Have I played the game that it changed? They shrunk his head in the newest game. You mean in Forgotten Land? Let me check it out. DDD Forgotten Land. Oh, you're right. Actually, what it feels like is that, I mean, not that he had a neck before, but now it really feels like he doesn't have a neck at all, right? It is sad, but he reminds me of a Brazilian character. Uh, let me confirm if my comparison makes sense or not. It makes sense a little bit. Okay, Nubble, you gotta see this. Here in Brazil, there is this one kid show, and it's pretty much, if I translate it to English, it's pretty much called the Spotted Chicken, right? The Spotted Chicken. DDD right now is reminding me of the Spotted Chicken. Yeah, does that open the picture? It does. Because there is no difference between his head and his body, right? So he reminds me of this one Brazilian character, the Spotted Chicken, that kids love to watch her on YouTube like crazy, right? There are songs and themes and everything. Yeah, that's how I feel right now about DDD. I didn't like the new design for DDD. What I thought though was that he was looking kinda more evil. At least from the pictures I found. He did look more menacing in a way, so I like that. But regarding his head body transition, it looked worse. Yeah. They also used it in Return to Dreamland remake. I see, so it happened even before this game. And there was no explanation, right? Nobody really knows why they did it. I'm thinking. Could this complete the course? It could, but the extreme level is still there. It's probably because of the underground, I'm thinking. You know what? Let's make the underground more regular then, like more normal. I had the idea to go with like the turns, but it's probably making this worse. They want me to raise the land a lot, right? Really? Return to Dreamland was after Forgotten Land? Yeah, it was so out of left field. I understand that sometimes they want to like I don't know, remodel their characters like to give them fresh looks and things, but it sucks when they do a worse design, right? Yeah, and then everybody needs to get used to it. But to be fair, it is very hard for like companies to really to get a remodel right as well. I was not expecting the change at all. The original Return to Dreamland was on the Wii, but the remake on the Switch was after Forgotten Land. Okay, yeah. It's just that it didn't click to me that Forgotten Land was this old already. But you're right, yeah. But then regarding DK, I don't hate the new design for him, but I don't know, he does look very different than how he used to look, right? You know, a situation where redesigns make more sense to me when you have different spin-offs or games of the same franchise. One example, not maybe the best example, but just a good one to see it. Paper Mario and Mario, like Mario platformers. You know, it's a redesign that makes a lot of sense. But then redesigning, for example, Kirby characters for the main line Kirby platformers is strange. But if it were for maybe another spin-off or something, then maybe it wouldn't be this bad, right? It's uncanny valley to me for both. Yeah, I still also don't know why they did it. My best guess was because of maybe the movie as well, right? Maybe a little bit of the movie, but I think about Rare. Maybe their licensing with Rare or something was ending. I mean, I know that Nintendo owns the rights to Donkey Kong, but you know, maybe there was something going on in there with the copyrights still after so many years. I don't know. Kirby's Epic Yarn. You see, for example, yes, Kirby's Epic Yarn, different looks make sense, right? Just like Yoshi as well, and the Woolly World. Exactly, yeah. Or even that one that you have like the stylus, and then you need to draw the path to Kirby. I think he looks a little bit different in there too, like a ball as well, right? All of that makes sense. But then for the main core series, it is strange. Although, you know, another franchise that they do it a lot, Zelda. In every Zelda game, they have a different looking Link and Zelda, right? And in general, people do not complain about them that much. Do you guys think so? But yeah, in every Zelda game, Zelda is looking different and Link is looking different too. Isn't Woolly World getting a better version on Switch 2? Is it? I think I haven't heard of it. Yes, I was thinking it wasn't. Yeah. I'm now actually thinking that the one game that got the most amount of character model changes was probably Zelda. Mario a little bit too, but I think Zelda had more of it. Link is never the same. And he's never the same for the main core games, right? Oh, it is? You can kind of see Yoshi's foot in the Switch Direct trailer. Really? From that game? I really don't remember that. I remember Legend ZA, the two Zeldas, Kirby as well. Metroid, right? Metroid Prime 4. Okay, but Zelda is fine to do that since the first one they have been doing it. That is true. Yeah, they are doing it the whole time, and then to each Zelda game, it's basically isolated to itself in a way, yeah. And those that are directly connected to each other were made around the same time, keeping the similar art style. Mm, yeah, like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. Good call. And also Wind Waker and the one for the DS, right? Phantom Hourglass. Unless it's going to be a new Yoshi game, I don't remember that. Also, Minish Cap and Four Swords. That is true. Even though to me, Minish Cap remind me more of Wind Waker, to be honest. But I think it remind me more of Wind Waker because of I don't know how the adventure goes, right? Like lots of side quests and things. But graphically speaking, it does resemble Four Swords more. That's true, yeah. I just never realized how many changes the characters did have already in Zelda games, right? They always change Link, and especially the last change from Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild was a big change. Minish Cap was both made and comes on the timeline before Four Swords. I never really studied the Zelda timeline, by the way. Especially because I haven't played so many of those games still. What about the one game that people say it's the worst? Is Spirit Tracks. Have you guys ever tried Zelda Spirit Tracks? And in case you did, is it that bad? Could Spirit Tracks be the sticker star of Zelda franchise? You haven't? Me neither. And I kinda do wanna play it, by the way. But the problem is that it is one of those games that Nintendo really worked on it in a way to not allow people to emulate it, right? And I have heard many stories of like it is a possible game to be played by emulation or something. So yeah, I wish I could play it, but if it is that way, then maybe I won't be able to do it, right? Because there is like an infinite train track travel or trip actually that you get stuck on in case you are not playing the original game. Because I was able to play Phantom Hourglass on stream even, but maybe Spirit Tracks I won't be able to do it, right? The timeline is a lie, pay it no attention. It was originally a bunch of fans with too much time on their hands, theorizing and Nintendo retroactively deciding to make it an official timeline that makes zero sense. Yeah, maybe there are like um, I don't know, connections that make sense, but not the whole thing, right? Because every Zelda game is very different in a way. They all have like a different outcome to the world, right? I will not spoil it for sure, but for example, the twist in Wind Waker was like crazy in my opinion. For those that have played it. By the way, that remind me something that I was doing like yesterday and also the day before yesterday. I did. It's a minor thing, but it's good for me to still point it out, right? I was updating the rank one extension a little bit more, and then I add in there some moments which were pretty much our highlights of the channel so far. I need to go back to them, or like I need to do more of them, but I at least uploaded the ones that we already have done to the rank one extension, so now it has that section working too. But also there is a section in there that's about my favorite games, and then I picked my favorite games, and it only allows you to have like 10 favorite games, right? And the Zelda game that I decided to have as my favorite was Majora's Mask. A very close second would be Wind Waker so far. But yes, Majora's Mask was one of my top 10 favorite games, at least at this moment of my life. The other ones are there too: Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Crystal, Banjo Tooie, Super Mario RPG, of course, Persona 3, but then I also decided to go for Persona 5. It was the hardest one to pick. Like, I had 9 games as favorites, but the 10th one I wasn't sure what to get, and then I decided to go for Persona 5 Royal because it was a very good game. And it's very complete, right? It has quality, it has a great soundtrack, the characters are great. You know, it's a very complete game. Portal and RollerCoaster Tycoon, of course. I believe I don't know if I remember them all right now, but those were the games I listed as my favorite so far. In case a new game surprises me enough to make sure the list, I will update it. I also thought a lot of Donkey Kong Country 2. I thought a lot of Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy 7, um, Pokemon Y as well because I played that game a lot myself. But I believe that list of 10 games talks a lot about me too, right? So I went for them. And the other thing that I just remember that I updated in the rank 1 extension as well was the achievements, but you can only add like 3 or 4 achievements. So I pretty much got the ones that were the most noticeable ones, like the first game I streamed, the longest game to beat, the shortest game to beat, which was Kirby, by the way, Kirby Dreamland, the first one, and the hardest boss to fight, which was Ruby Weapon from Final Fantasy VII. It is like an iconic moment of this channel and this Twitch account, so I had to add it in there in the achievement section. Yeah, rank 1 has been doing a great job, by the way. I started using it as just like a backlog of my games, and every week or every month they are adding up new features, new stuff, new details, new, new everything, that they have been very helpful or very fun to work on little by little. So yeah, now we have also those sections working on it. There is even a thing in there, by the way, that allows people to vote on the games that I could be playing next. And we were talking a little bit about game recommendations, right? Before I took this break. And I even got some of those recommendations, and I'll be playing them very soon, I hope. Which are going to be those Telltale games. Even though they are outside of my comfort zone, we're going to be trying the Walking Dead Telltale games, and also the Wolf Among Us as well. And by the way, I also want to play Yu-Gi-Oh at some point. I have been really craving Yu-Gi-Oh. I need to find a spot to play Yu-Gi-Oh Worldwide Edition, right? I have been feeling it so much inside of me. But yeah, there is an option there for people to vote on games they wanna see me playing or something. Although you gotta have the account, right? Or you gotta do a login to be able to like vote. But it's nice that it's also a feature on the platform. Doesn't the opening cutscene in Wind Waker tell you the twist? Maybe. Yes, I don't remember exactly it anymore. I remember it's showing up, but I don't remember what it was telling us about. But maybe, right? You might be right in there. Back on the Final Fantasy, will you ever go back to 6 now that you have gotten a better grasp on how the Final Fantasy series works? I would like to play a remake. Yes, I was even talking about that the other day too, because there are the rumors of Final Fantasy 9 getting a remake, right? And I was thinking that I won't play the remake of 9, or I wouldn't be that crazy to play a remake of 9. Because even though it was a good game, I don't think Final Fantasy IX hit me that hard um, to make it one of my favorites, you know? I think I had way more fun with 8, 7, 8 and 7 pretty much. Yeah. So even if Final Fantasy IX gets a remake, I wouldn't be crazy to play it. I hope it gets a remake and everything, of course, for the fans and because it deserves it. But playing it myself again, I'm not sure. But then if Final Fantasy VI gets a remake, then I believe I could give it a shot, yes. Another option, but would be trying the version that it's like a mod of it. I forgot how it was called. Brave World, Brave New World. I believe that's how it goes. Final Fantasy VI Brave New World, which is like a harder difficulty version of the game or something. At some point, I also thought of it. Yeah, but then going back to Final Fantasy VI, the way it is, then I'm not sure. Another thing I did think at some point, by the way, was regarding replaying some games we have played already, you know? For example, Chrono Cross. I have the Chrono Cross remaster on my Switch. And, or even Chrono Trigger. Maybe we could try playing Chrono Trigger again. But the problem is that, when am I doing it? Like, where is my time to do such things, right? I can't even finish the games I start. Imagine about replaying the things I have played already. Another example is Super Mario RPG, but Super Mario RPG I will replay it, at least for the remaster, right? Actually, sorry, the remake of it. I think the Pixel remaster is the best we are gonna get for 1 to 6. Seriously? It is not HD 2D remaster, is it? It's not, right? It's not like the Dragon Quest games we are getting right now. If only they were. Don't you believe in a Chrono Trigger remake? Or do you think we are not getting it? I mean, I would like to see a 2D HD remake, right? Maybe more than a 3D remake or something. Yeah, it's not like Octopath Traveler style. If it were that style, then I would feel more towards playing it myself. But I don't know if it is just the regular remaster, then I'm not that hyped for it to replay it, right? Live Alive got the Octopath Traveler Love. Oh yeah, right? Yeah, you're right about that. Which is another game we could try at some point. I forgot about it. Live Alive. I should add it to my rank 1, by the way. Let me write it down here. Yeah, Live Alive could be interesting to play at some point. There we go. So how was this now? It is worse than before? How? Mm, I think it's because of this big drop, right? Combined with that one. Okay, let me rethink this drop then. But yeah, guys, I wish I were feeling like normal or fully better, you know. But yeah, I'm realizing that if I don't know if I use a lot of my energy to this, like to streaming right now. I'm not getting dizzy, but I feel my brain getting kind of weaker, or I need to pay attention to my breathing a little bit. So I believe it's going to be like a process of adaptation. So then I believe that maybe, hopefully, in some more weeks, I can feel better like before, right? But right now, I'm still not like fully 100% feeling comfortable as I wish I were. But it could also be today, right? Maybe, I don't know, on Friday when we are playing Iono, I can be feeling better, I hope. But I'll need to be paying attention to my health still, because I'm not feeling 100% for sure. And that sucks because it kind of makes me to like contain myself, or like not get as hyped up or fired up or excited about the things we are doing, you know. Otherwise it could be bad to my health, or like bad to my breathing, or bad to my brain. I don't know, I feel like I'm struggling a little, you know. But again, it could be just today, I'm not sure. Live Alive got the Octopath Traveler love when they finally localized it for outside of Japan. Do you think that it was successful? Because only a few people knew about that game before that localization, right? And I haven't heard of it selling too much. I wonder how well it was out, right? Or how well it performed. It is 60% off on Steam. Good call. I should add it to my Steam wish list as well. Instead of like buying it on the Switch, right? Normally it is 50 USD dollars, but it's now 20. It's probably close to 100 reais, I would guess. Let me check it out. Let me open Steam. There it is. Oh, it is even lower than that. Nice. Yeah, it is 87 reais right now, or 88 pretty much. Yes, I added to my wish list. I'm going to be following it up. But I also need to buy the first Octopath Traveler, because Meowser gifted me the second one, but I cannot play the second one before trying the first one on Steam. I mean, or on stream, right? Or on Steam as well. Because when I was trying the first Octopath Traveler, it was thanks to Xbox Game Pass trial. And I did not finish it. I only played like the first chapter of every character, and then I decided to start playing Superliminal on the channel, right? Back to streaming. But before streaming again, I was trying Persona 3 Reload, and also Octopath Traveler, and also Hi-Fi Rush. So I did try those games offline, but I did not finish Octopath Traveler 1. It was very hard, by the way. Yeah, Octopath Traveler was super tough. There were some boss fights in there that were complicated. I don't think this will be too different, but I want to see how it goes. You also played a little bit of the first one. You wasn't a fan at the time. I'm guessing you are still not a fan. Regarding it, I was hoping that the characters had more interactions between each other, right? Because... oh yeah, this is not good for sure. That is still too fast. because I know the game kind of promotes you to play it in any order you want, like to get the characters to your party at any order. But the characters, they have some, I don't know, very linear progression is still, right? It really makes you feel like it's an illusion of choice. You think you are changing the situation by picking the characters at different orders, but in the end, everything plays out the same way. That's how I felt about it. You would have to give it another try. I did like the combat mechanics at least, yes. It, yeah, okay, but about it being grindy heavy, you are right about that. It is not easy. You do need to get some levels up and things, yes. But I did like the battle mechanics, especially because of figuring out weaknesses to use them to perform somewhat combos and things, right? So yeah, like every time there was a new enemy, you had to try everything you had to like understand their weaknesses, just like in a Persona game in a way. And then once you figured it out, then you can really focus on defeating it. So I kind of thought it was fun to investigate the weaknesses of the enemies. I'm hoping that the second game will maybe give those party members more interactions between each other, because it was very plain, right? The way they were helping each other in the plot of the game, like, because they pretty much, I don't know how to explain, but I wish they had more dialogues between themselves, you know, like you decided to go for this one character first and then you met that other character, and then I wish they had an interaction that could only be seen with those two in that order, or vice versa at least, but there was nothing like that, pretty much. The only moments the plot developed was when, I don't know, it was something that everybody was already in there, or either it was too focused on a single party member and then the others didn't count or they didn't matter for the development of the story, you know. So it kind of lost me a little, because they promoted the game for it to be like you can pretty much build up your story the way you want, but it's not really like that. The only difference is like in the battles, you have different characters to be helping you out in the battles, but the plot is the same way. This is still extreme. Yes, I believe I need to change this a lot then, because this is not really doing it. You know what? Sure. Let's rethink this coaster, right? This is not doing it, so let's try something else. By the way, I should save the game as well. Even though I haven't completed any coaster today, I did get some more money, right? So let's save the game. There we go. You did like that? Yeah, I did like the weaknesses system. And then you had to break, right? Break their shields and stuff to cause more damage. Experiment to figure out how to beat each enemy. But you didn't like how character 1 is hard locked into your party. Oh yeah. Yeah, because you picked him as the main character. You are right about that. He could be more customizable, right? You could like take him off your party and then pick somebody else. That is true. Do you remember who you picked, by the way? I picked the professor, like the researcher. I forgot his name. He was like the teacher. Oh yeah, the teacher. The huntress. Oh, she was my last. She was the last one I did the story mode, right? Yeah, it's not surprising that you went for the huntress. You are a monster hunter guy, right? So of course you went for her. The one that got to my attention the most was actually the assassin. I don't know if you started the plot of the assassin in the desert. Yeah, I want to see more of that story. That story was the dancer. Yeah, that's the one. The dancer story was very good. I want to play more of that game just for her, you know. Some other stories were not that interesting, but the dancer really got to me. At least was when I stopped. So you are incentivized to start with a character you know, and then you will need to keep him to the team or to keep them to the team. To the team, yeah, like a healer, and then swap the other three slots as needed. Yes, to break their stance. Yeah. So you went huntress, cleric, knight. I forgot who was the knight already. I went the teacher, the professor, the saleswoman, which was like also like a fisherwoman or something. She lived in a fisherman town or something. But I think she was like a salesperson, right? A trader maybe. Then there was a thief as well. Might have been one other I got, but can't remember. Yeah, I don't remember who was the third one I got. I think the dancer was the fourth. You were moving a clockwise motion to get the characters. Yeah, the merchant. Yeah, the merchant was my second. I also liked her a little. She was like with good personality. Mm, let's change this up a little, shall we? I have the game on my Switch. I should reload it, or actually re-download it. and give it another try. I don't have that game anymore. It was a physical game you owned. Must have given it to a friend or sold it. Yeah, after you saying that you didn't like that much, I can see you doing it, right? I did it to Fantasy Life for my 3DS. There was a moment that I kind of got tired of that game, and then I sold it to a friend. Yeah, I did play it a lot. I pretty much beat the game and stuff. I did not go through all of the classes of it though, but after I really got a good idea of what the game was about, then I didn't want the game anymore and then I sold it. Level 5 is even working on the sequel, but I'm not sure when it's going to be released, and also I heard the development of the sequel was getting some problems or trouble, so I don't think it's going to be a very good game, to be honest. It even looks a lot like a 3DS game, so there is also that. But yeah, the two games I sold, because normally I don't sell my games, they were Fantasy Life and also Mario and Luigi Dream Team. Yes, I did sell Dream Team as well. Getting there from here is not good because it's going to be in front of the path, right, for the entrance and the exit. But then should I go underground again? Maybe. Yeah, guys, unfortunately, I'm not feeling very good. So I think that after this coaster, I will already finish the stream and take a break and, I don't know, rest, right? Oh, I'm actually like at a high level that I can't go underground yet. But the feeling that I have is like my body's feeling weak, you know, it's kind of losing its energy, and then it's, you know, my brain's like struggling a little. I was not really like this in the past days of the week, I would say. Hence why I considered returning to streaming. But while I'm streaming right now, I'm kind of, I don't know, not feeling that great. Where am I? Wait, is it not this one? It is. I need to go very high then? Like, I can't because the other coaster is there, so... Oh, this one maybe. There we go, yeah. But I need to go up still, right? Yeah, like this. But then I have the Virginia Reel also on the way, so... I mean, that does it, but I won't be able to go down. By the way, can I... Yeah, that's the best way to finish this, but I need to change this, right? Okay, it's a bit different, but that does it. How is this like? I mean, the speed level is fine. It's not too fast, right? Underground. It looks simple, but at the same time, if it goes too crazy, then it gets too intense. So, is it good enough? Almost. Man, it is so close. I'm saving again, of course. What can I change? Um, let's change this section right here. Maybe I can make an extra drop or something. Just that. Does that help it? Thankfully, it is also not a very large coaster, right? So we still have plenty space, or maybe like it's not that much space, but it is what it is, right? So we still have plenty space under the conditions of the level to build 5 more coasters. Yeah. It is completely different than what I was planning to do with this model, but I like its looks. And I try to give the car more um, I don't know, I try to give it more track or more parts of track before he takes the turns. Because if he took the turns very fast or like very close to the drops, even though there are some drops that he turns right away, of course, but I try to make the sections kind of extra straight before taking turns, especially from half to end of the coaster, so it could give the car more balance to its speed and everything, right? It wouldn't be too dynamic, basically. And I think that helped it out. There we go. The extra bump did it. So there we go, cool. I completed your coaster, man. Not the way I planned, but that it is. With that, we got 5 coasters down, right? Yeah. Next, I'm not sure what we're doing, by the way. There we go, cool, yeah. And surprisingly, it was somewhat short, don't you think? I'm impressed that I could use only this space right here. It's not much. But next, I don't know which you want to go after, right? Maybe the wooden crazy rodent. It was annoying to do. It wasn't as bad as the stand-up coaster, in my opinion. The stand-up coaster was more stressful. This one, hence why I kind of changed the plans and then I gave up on it and then I did a long coaster for it. Yeah, this one was really something. It was really impossible doing. The Virginia Reel was not doing it for my initial strats, and then I realized that it didn't need to go too fast, right? Once it was more balanced like that, you see, then it worked well. Maybe the wooden coaster. Yeah, I remember you wanted me to go for the wooden coaster, but I think the wooden coaster is too large plus too expensive. Although the expensive part of it will be fine because we have money, but it's too large. But if you want me to try it, I could. But I think I will save it for next time, yes. I... It keeps on fluctuating, right? The way I'm feeling while streaming right now. Like, now I feel like I have some energy to do it, but then suddenly I start feeling kind of uncomfortable because, like, my breathing, my brain... I think it's better for me to kind of take it easy, and then I think I will rest as well. And maybe take some short streams little by little until I feel more comfortable, right? Yeah, I will try it though. Okay, I'm down for another challenge. I can try the wooden coaster. Do you really want the normal one? Or would you rather have the wooden twister one? But yeah, I'm feeling kind of uncomfortable. The twister, sure, which is actually maybe even better to me because I haven't worked with it too much, right? So it's going to be a new take or a new challenge for me to try. But hey, at least we got one coaster down, and we had good talks today as well. We could update ourselves on each other and everything. So yes, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. It has loops. Do you mean the twists? It doesn't have like. You really mean loops? Oh, by the way, this coaster I remember it being dangerous. Yeah, if you have like the two trains operating in there, it can crash. I have some memories of this coaster crashing right here, the Wood Twister one, right? If you have a single train, then it's safe, but having it with two trains, they can crash on each other. So it's kinda risky. Oh, you know what? Let me just connect this coaster to the rest of the park. Where is the path? The path is very way behind, right? Should we do it as a tunnel? I think we should. There we go. Whoa, Meowser! Wow, that's the first time I see like the big emotes on like the chat. What the hell? Man, the big panda, that looks awesome. How did you do that? Was it thanks to the channel points? I'm guessing that's how you do it. Man, that's a thing of Twitch now? Maybe it was in RollerCoaster Tycoon 2 I was thinking of. I'm not sure. They have a wooden model with loops. Yes, I haven't seen that. Oh, it's bits? Oh, you need to use bits to do it? Damn. But it's incredible, like it looks awesome. Yeah, man, that's great. Thank you for showing me that. I haven't seen it before. I don't even know how you do it. Like, where do you go to do such a thing? Like, is it on the bit section or is it somewhere else? Oh yeah, by the way, Meowser and also Cool, let's keep on checking on the Steam sales, right? So we can, in the future, get ourselves... Wait, what is that now? Celebration? Celebration? What is that Meowser redeemed? Did something happen? Twitch, please show me the celebration. Oh, the section where you can like enlarge the emotes, it's in the channel points. It makes a bunch of emotes float across my screen. Really? Did it happen? I didn't see it. I have seen that effect on some other channels, but thanks to Nightbot, I believe. It has 3 different options for bits, one being make emotes big. Okay, let me actually check that out. Yeah, right, I didn't see it go off either. Like, did it fail? That was strange. And because it is a Twitch thing, I think that my OBS settings shouldn't matter, right? Oh, Meowser did see it? Okay, so it worked, even though I was not... I mean, of course I was not looking at my screen while streaming, but maybe I was too late to check it out, right? Yeah, maybe it was short. Oh, now I found it. Yeah, power-ups and redeems and things. Yeah, I never realized them right there. Are they really new, or am I just like crazy to not pay attention to them? Maybe I'm crazy, right? Oh, he did it again? But I cannot see it. Maybe yeah, probably my feed is delayed, right? My feed is probably delayed because I see the message and then I look on my screen and then I don't see it anymore. It is funny, but I will check it on the VOD for sure, yeah. Did you catch it this time, Nubble? But I was going to say that we need to be looking on the prices for Castle Crashers and Battle Block Theater, right? Because maybe there are some Steam sales going on, because there is always a Steam sale going on recently, although the one right now is for shooter games, if I'm not mistaken, and the previous one was for puzzle games, right? Yeah, and then I'm waiting for Cool to get those games so we can try setting up a day for us to play them together. Is it on their end only? It shouldn't, right? I still didn't see any of the emotes flood on the screen. Me neither. That makes no sense for it to not be to everybody. I was wondering if it were because like RollerCoaster Tycoon was in front of it, but then again, yeah, it is not on sale. Let me check something. Most likely we'll need to wait until like the mid of the year, like the summer sale. Okay, this one showed up because it is on OBS. Or actually it's the extension, but still on OBS, right? Let me see. Castle Crashers. Yeah, the last sale of Castle Crashers was last month, in March 13th. And then Battle Block Theater. Same goes to Battle Block Theater in March 13th. According Nani, okay, this one I'm getting more used to it, right? Summer or winter. But from Steam DB website in here, sometimes they take like they skip 1 month without being on sale to return to the sale, right? So as they were on sale in March, maybe they are going to skip May, and yeah, they are going to return in June for the summer sale. Dang, I was hoping he was too distracted to catch that. Wait, that was Nubble? Yeah, Nubble trying to scare me too with the RollerCoaster Tycoon. But I was not, it was not too loud. I will say this again, if you guys want to scare the shit out of me, try to scare me when I'm playing the Switch games on Saturdays, right? Yeah, that's when my monitor has the speakers at max levels, and then it's going to be very loud to my ears. Yeah, Meowser has been trying that strat as well. Because for Paper Trail, the current Switch game we're playing, I leave my speakers at like 100 of volume, you know, or from 80 to 100, and then it's super loud. Otherwise, I cannot hear the game for some reason. Yeah, don't worry, me. Also, you are not going to get me scared now. For now, my volumes are at like 9. Yeah, but Noble wanted me to think it was the coaster crashing. Nah, my coasters are fine, man. I know my. I trust my abilities, right? I trust my skills in here. I left my coasters with a single train. Single trains won't crash. Yes. Set volume 100. I mean, you guys won't notice a difference, right? But I will. It's too loud! I mean, not anymore because the game is not making sounds. There we go. Can you hear it from the mic?
This next test is very dangerous. To help you remain tranquil in the face of almost certain death, smooth jazz will be deployed in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, set volume 9, right? There we go. Yeah, the other games are very loud on my speakers. But at least, I'm pretty sure when I check the VOD, those sound alerts and the speakers, they were with a good volume, right? For everybody watching the stream. But to me in particular, it's not too loud because of my current settings in here. So it can be somewhat comfortable for me to hear the game, pretty much hear the game, right? And also use my mic and everything. But Nubble was trying to fake me to think that my coasters would be crashing. Nah. I try my hardest to not let them do it, right? But there we go. Did you see how loud it gets if I... And I did not get to 100, by the way. I got to 80. Yeah, at the max of volume for RollerCoaster Tycoon. Not to mention that this game itself is very loud by nature. This and Golden Sun The Lost Stage. Yeah, Golden Sun The Lost Stage is a very loud game too. Is it connecting? It is, right? So let's open this up. I mean, maybe for the Virginia Reel we could try having more cars in here. I really want to believe it won't crash, right? Nah, let's play safe, let's play safe. Let's have a single car, that's fine. Because I do think the Virginia Reel is one of the most safest coasters in general. It doesn't crash. I don't even remember one time that it crashed before. The cars of the Virginia Reel, I think they are uncrashable. I can be wrong, but that's the impression I have. Hi Subaru, what's up, man? I'm not sure if I can keep it up though. Right now I kinda got excited with everything we were discussing right now, but I'm scared of like dropping my energy again and then not feeling well. Subaru, I was telling everybody that I did recover a lot from like how I was feeling in the past days, but as I have been streaming tonight, I haven't been feeling 100% comfortable because of, I don't know, my brain feeling a little bit weird, or because of like losing my breath a little, or struggling to like, you know, have a good pace of breathing. Because when I felt sick some days ago, I felt dizzy. Yes, I really felt dizzy. I was scared of like passing out and fainting, but thankfully I did not get to that point. But since then, I haven't been feeling really the same. But the dizziness did stop a lot, almost like completely. Although when I kind of get myself pumped up, or like when I'm here using my energy and then speaking a lot, and then you know a lot of things to consider, I'm now realizing that I'm still struggling a little bit. So I need to take more breaks, I need to speak more slowly, I need to breathe more, but I also think I need to give myself more time to get more used to this. I did. Good call, Subaru. Yeah, Subaru was asking me if I did, um, if I stood up too fast in the day that I felt dizzy. I did. Yeah, and then I really felt very dizzy, and I was thinking I had some problems with my body circulation, my blood flow, possibly vitamins, because like the neural system is connected to vitamin B12, so I'm now also taking vitamin B12. I bought the supplement, and it's been just, I don't know, 3 or 4 days that I took it, but I need to see how it's going to react to me, right? Yeah, somebody is saying that's one thing you should not do, like to stand up fast. Yes, that's how I did feel the most dizzy, right? But then, you know, I'm not feeling fully comfortable. Yeah. I think as well that stress took a big part of it, as I was feeling stressed and also angry in the days before I felt sick. But then once my body relaxed, because I was not stressed anymore in that day, I felt like the levels of maybe cholesterol, is that the word in English? I'm not sure. Maybe they were already too much in my body, and then they, you know, reacted to make me feel sick. And then when I was investigating my stomach and intestines months ago, the blood test also pointed out that I have this one thing at high levels that is connected to stress, and then I should drop it, right? And then the way to drop it was to get more vitamins. So I'm now also getting more vitamins to see if I can drop it more. Anyway, but in the end, I'm not sure what's really going with me. But in those days that I was sick, I was losing my breath when I was speaking to my mom on the phone, or like it feels like I'm having a problem of oxygenating my body. You know, maybe my heart is like not working that great. Some days I even had some pressure, right? My pressure was measured, my blood pressure. I was measuring it on Pilates. And in one of the days, I was feeling like I had a lower pressure as well. I was having the symptoms of somebody that could be having their pressure low, right? If I have done a heart exam, I have done it in the past, like many years ago, when I was investigating my anxiety. I did it around 2017, I think. Yes. And then I was thinking that what I was having right now was due to stress, right? But maybe it is a little bit more than that. So basically, I'm having phases. Like, there are moments right now that I'm feeling comfortable, and there are moments right now that I'm not feeling too comfortable. And then I need to, like, slow down and kind of have a quick recovery. Hence why, Subaru, I believe that tonight I will have a very short stream so I can rest and get more used to everything little by little. So you pretty much stopped by when I was actually going to finish the stream, right? But look at this, we were able to do another coaster, the Virginia Reel that Cool wanted me to work on, and it got to like pretty much the requirement, not more, not less, right? It's the requirement. And then we'll need to work on 5 more coasters after this one next time. But yeah, man, I'll need to understand what's happening to me pretty much. To be fair, even though I did start feeling, um, I don't know, I have started feeling more comfortable in general. In the last days of everything, my intestines and digestive system, they have been kind of strange still. Not to the point of like giving me big aches, but I still feel them a little bit strange. Like sometimes they make me go to the bathroom quite out of nowhere or out of nowhere, or more than more times than expected or something. I was like, oh yes, I need to go to the bathroom, and then I need to go to the bathroom again, or something. It's kind of deranged in a way, especially some days ago. I do suffer, but it's not like a very good one, I would say. I actually tried going to the doctor the day I felt dizzy, but then it was during late night, and when I was ordering a taxi, the taxi was asking for me to wait for 20 to 30 minutes. And in that wait, I was checking if I could feel better, and I started feeling a little bit better. So I decided to forget about the taxi and go back to my apartment to try to rest, right? And then I could sleep, and then I have been taking care of myself since then. Because I was really suspecting it was due to anxiety and stress. Because also, as always, pretty much, my neck and shoulders were kind of tense too, right? But they are not tense today. Because in this time I also learned some new exercises and stretches that were very effective. But what I feel is like pretty much the back of my brain kind of getting more sensible or sensitive to things. And then it's not really dizzy, but it's like I feel something uncomfortable in there. Yeah, it could be stress too. Like, I don't know. I'm returning to streaming today, and then maybe I could be anxious about it, even though I was not really feeling too anxious, but it's still something that demands energy, demands attention, demands your body, from your body, so maybe it could be hitting me a little bit, but I'll need to investigate it and see it. But it could be, you see, I need to take a break right now as well. It could be also connected to my heart because of the pressure. Yeah, I feel like my pressure has been kind of different, you know. Sometimes I was getting a somewhat low pressure, but then last time I measured it last week, it was more normal. It was 11 to 7 and 11 to 8. But there was one day that it was like 9 something and 10 something. And then I was feeling like my hands getting colder, you know, my fingers getting colder. It is a little bit like a mix of both because when you have low pressure, you can also feel dizzy, you know. Anyway, I'm not sure, but even though I was not 100% tonight, I think I still managed everything well in comparison to how I was when I started feeling sick, and even some days